once again, round over the edge of the eye, create a bit of a notch in the corner there so that you create the side of the nose. You can see, actually physically see the side of the nose in there. If you take a look at Marv's finished one, you can actually see how much rounding went on for the side of the eye. Severe, but sharpness where the edge of the nose is, like, you know, you have to create that nose. Okay, so start off with a straight line here at the very start, just a very straight line. Turn the carving upside down like that, rest your hand on here, and then that creates the natural curve that's required for the smile. Remember, it doesn't have to be equal on both sides, but it looks better. Alright, so in order to make this cut, have a very sharp knife, sharp pointed knife, and what we're going to do is we're going to put it in absolutely straight up and down, and we're going to draw it just past the halfway mark. And I like to put it in a few times and draw it across. You able to catch that, Tom?
Yep.
Turn it over and do the other side.
Yep, good.
So deeper in the middle than on the edge?
No, the idea is to come just past the edge.
No, for the corner, I meant from the corner.
The outside corner is actually going to be the deepest in the end.
Oh, really?
Okay. So once you get that done, then you put the tip of the knife on the outside corner and bring the heel down so that it comes to the center line. Put the tip of the knife in the outside corner and bring the heel down to come to the center line, and remove that chip. Turn it over, put the tip of the knife in on the outside corner and bring it down to the center line. And can you see the nice, can you see that, Tom?
Yep, yep, just tip it a wee bit.
Like that?
Yep.
There you go. It needs to be cleaned up a little bit on the outside corner. There, that's better. So you can see I've created a pretty nice looking lip, top lip already. Alright. So the next step is going to be a little V, and again that goes straight in on the angle of the mouth mound. It goes straight in, and we're going to remove that little triangle. See how that little triangle is removed there? We're going to do the same on the other side. Straight in and remove a little bit, about a 45-degree angle, and remove that little chip right there. Okay, got that, Tom?
Yep.
Okay, we're going to stop there and see if you guys can catch up to that.
Right.
Alright, so we want to give her some teeth today, so we're going to come down to about there. And so that means I have to leave the teeth behind, or leave the wood enough for the teeth behind. So there it is, there's a nice curvature in there.
Yep, just let it focus.
Okay? So you see just a nice arc in there. If you look at Marv, you'll see that it's exactly the same. Get a nice arc going down. So again, it's a straight up and down cut. Still okay there, Tom?
Yep.
Try and keep my finger out of the way so you can see it.
Well, your big paw is right in the way.
You're not closer.
Alright, so straight up and down cut. So now I've got to create the teeth that's in there. So, still okay?
Yep.
And now I'm going to, I kind of want her to have sort of buck teeth. Okay, so now we got some teeth, right? And now we got to create that bottom lip. Boy, she got a mouthful of teeth. All right, so the mouth mound and the denture mound are two different shapes. The dentures have to fit inside the mouth mound. And you see that curvature there? That would indicate that it was coming out, and her next set of teeth would be sticking out her side of her cheek here. So you got to curve this in.
We'll drop it down on the corners, is basically what you
Yeah, we're just taking some material out of the corner. Right at the moment, she looks like she's got a kind of a tongue sticking out there, doesn't she?
But she's giving somebody an injection, she's making an effort. Sometimes people stick their tongue out when they're making an effort.
All right, so there's her set of teeth, and I'll work a little bit more on that and curving them around a little bit more. But that kind of gives you the idea as to how that is going to go, okay? I might drop them back in even a little bit more. Good enough?
Okay.
So give it a shot. Don't try and get too much detail, just try and get the general shape. Okay, so I've got the denture mound going around, and I can mess around with that and make them straighter or whatever. But when we first made the cut, we came straight around, so the cut comes straighter up and down. But the bottom lip has to have an angle on it, the same as the top lip had a bit of an angle, so we've got to start working at that, trying to get, I'll call it a flat spot in here.
You're working on the top of the lip, right?
The top of the bottom lip,
Top
yeah.
of the bottom.
All right, so can you see the flat edge I've got coming there now?
See?
Can anybody see?
Then
Brush your teeth already.
When I brushed, that's how I got a hair lip. Chunk him right in.
Well, if you had to brush the thing, I'd use your wife's toothbrush so that you don't break yours.
I might have to fool around with the teeth a bit more, but I've got this flat area now all the way around. And I'm going to take a gouge. I use a high-sided gouge, number 11. And what you got to do now is you got to create the curvature on the bottom underneath the lip. So in order to do that, you know that little hollow we put in up here? Can you see that, Tom?
Yep.
So now I'm going to put the gouge in there, and now I'm going to follow around underneath. I'll do just half, and then you pass this around, you have a look at it.
Oh, there it comes.
Looks like he's done it before.
Yeah, almost.
oh yes.
All right, so I'll just leave it like that for now, but I'm going to shape it. I'm going to tuck it in tighter in there and shape there's no sharp edges on a lip. Okay, or on a face, basically. Human body has no sharp edges, but I'll just pass this around so you can have a look at it. I need to create a trough between the bottom of the lip and the bottom of the nose. So in order to do that, I have to put a stop cut in at the very top first, and I've got to be able to remove that chip. So just a little bit of a stop cut across the top, then take a gouge, and it doesn't matter, it can be a varying size. I'll use the same gouge size that I used down at the bottom here. Where are we? Right there. And I'm going to just jab this in and come up. See how that creates that snot trough in there? So it gives the impression that that has that little lobe coming down just by putting that little trough in there. So then after that, we're going to have to massage this part of the top lip, and by removing a bit of the material on the top part of that, we create the sharp point of the lip. So depending on the shape that you want to create in here, you can turn this a little bit more, make her lip, her top part here a little bit more pooky. It just depends on what kind of shape you want to create. But you can see right off the bat that I've created a fairly sharp edge on the top lip there. And that gives it more emphasis, more detail. I'll mess around a bit more on it. Now this is details, and I usually don't do details at this stage, but okay. So teeth, we're going to have no more than 6, and 4 is better. So divide it in half, right at the very front. Sharper pencil would have been nicer. And then I'm going to do this side first so that then I can match it on the other side. Okay. So then you carve, reinforce that cut at the top of the teeth.
Just bring it up a little bit, right?
Sorry,
There.
there. Reinforce the cut at the top of the teeth, and take your smallest little V-tool that you've got. And just pop that out. Where are we? There we go. Pop that out. Pop that out. So there's her teeth. Now you don't have to even do that. You don't even have to cut those teeth in. The other thing is, if you want to spend the time at it, take the sharp edges off the bottom of the teeth. Just a little bit. And the idea of that is, like, we don't give her that chisel tooth look. Okay? Now I want to, while we've got this focused here, I want you to take notice of that the bottom of the nose is just a slight curve. And that's all there is to a woman's nose. You can make the sides go up steeper if you like, but typically they don't need that. And if you take a look at Marv's carving here, I'm sure that that will show you the same thing. Where are we? There. Now, forgetting about the nostrils being open there, the bottom of the nose is just a curve. See that? So that's all there is to it. Just a curve on the bottom. And then we shape the nose after that, and we'll spend a bit of time at that. Stop that. So everybody wants a turned up nose. So in order to have a turned up nose, you have to remove the wood. Like that. So that, and there's the shape. Maybe even a little bit more.
Let's put it up a little bit.
So that, see how I've turned that? I've created a flat area there, but it's the shape I need to get that turned up nose. And then from that point at the top, we're going to leave a little bit of a flat spot, and then it's got to, I'll take that center line off, and then I got to shape it like that. So can you see the pooky nose started there? Okay, now that's just one dimension. Now we've got to round off the edges. So I want to leave it flat on both sides, or flat on the top rather. This, oops, where are we? This little area right there, I want to leave that flat. You know how I always like a flat spot on the top of the nose. The same thing applies here. So all I got to do then is to take off a bit on both sides. You start to round that nose. Now what I'll do is I'll do one side and then I'll pass it around to you. Can you see that, how I've started to round that? Okay. Watch this again and, okay, so I'm going to spend a bit of time now and I'm going to shape the area above the nose. I'll use a high-sided gouge and I'll come in here and I'll remove a little bit of material on either side, just above where the nostril is. I want to leave the nostril flared out and hollowed in behind it. Can you see the hollow behind it there? The hollow in here. So I'm going to leave this up here. Okay. Now there's a couple of ways of creating the side of the nostril in that area there. A lot of people find the simplest way is to get about a number 9 gouge and maybe a 3 or a 4 millimeter and just simply jab it in. But you can do that with a knife as well, just by removing a bit of material on the side here. You can create, can you see that shadow in there? There we go. Massage it a little bit, get it a little bit rounded.
Poor nurse looks like she had a date with Omeshi, you know, last night.
Boy, that lawyer he's got is really shredding them, isn't he?
Just pull back a little bit.
There we go. So you can see the nose now has got a definite shape to it. I'll work a little bit more at that, trying to get symmetry. Don't be afraid to look up the nose to try and get the shapes the same. You can see that it looks like this side here is a little bit wider than the other side. So you can mess around with getting that shape. It's important that you get the symmetry going on that. Okay. Does this? Okay, so now we've got the nose roughly shaped, and you can fool around with that. If you want to make it more pointy, you can make it more pointy. But now we got to have her breathe. In order for her to breathe, we have to give her nostril holes. So I'm going to use a, what is this? This would be about a number 9 and about 2 millimeters, I guess. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to jab it in on both sides here. Now you don't have to go all the way to the lip if you don't want to. You just have to go part way down. What did Marv do? Yeah, Marv didn't go all the way down. See her nose there? It doesn't go all the way down to the lip. The cutout is still there, but it doesn't go all the way to the lip. So I'm going to just try and do this with being able to see it on the TV there too. So she's got a bit of a snotty hanging out there right now. So now we'll do the other side. So we got one's a little bit bigger than the other, so we'll adjust the other one. There, they're pretty close. Use a knife to take out the excess. One's a little bit bigger than the other, but we can fool around with that a little bit later. Okay?
And they go on a bit of an angle, I guess, off to the side?
Well, sort of, but you want to get the center, this center area here, straight up and down as much as you can when you put your gouge in.
Okay.
But it's on a curve on a bit of an angle, but try and get this, there's a name for that piece in there, try and get it as straight up and down as you can get it.